Going to the Albinism sentencing in Mpumalanga. Let's go there live.
I've set out in my judgment on conviction the details of the offences committed by the accused, and I don't intend today to repeat those details. The accused testified in mitigation, and it was stated that he has no previous convictions. His personal circumstances are as follows. He was born on 28 September 1976, which he is 41 years old, and he's married to Smangele Madela, and they stay in Mamelodi in Pretoria East. From the marriage relationship with Ms. Madela, they are blessed with 3 children, a girl aged 17 years old, and 2 boys aged 12 and 5 years old respectively. He also has an 8-year-old girl. The girl child and her mother are currently residing in Piet Retief. Both mothers of his children are currently unemployed.
Intombazana eneminyaka 17 kanti-ke owesibili umfana weneminyaka 12 kanti-ke egcina ingane-ke ineminyaka 5 yomfana kanti-ke bese kukhona-ke nentombazana eneminyaka 8 leyo-ke ehlala le ePiet Retief noma wayo bobabili abomama bey'ngane zakhe abasebenzi.
His highest academic qualification is a bachelor degree in education. He obtained this qualification from the University of Pretoria in the year 2000. He's a businessman. He runs a welding business. He also co-owns another business with one Mr. Funky Philemon Khumalo. He's also a tutor in the subject of maths and science.
Kanti-ke na-ke kwezemfundo-ke uye wafunda ufunde uneziqu-ke kwezemfundo-ke lapho-ke ayaphothula khona-ke lezo mfundo zakhe lapha-ke e-University yase-Pretoria ngonyaka ka-2000. Kanti-ke nosomabhizinisi kanti-ke unebhizinisi lokushisela lento kanti-ke nelinye-ke ibhizinisi lapho-ke esebenzisana khona-ke nomnumzane uFunky Philemon Khumalo njengabalingani okanye osomabhizinisi ebhizinisini ebelihlanganyela.
He was arrested in March 2018 and has since been in custody for a period of a year and 6 months awaiting trial. He testified that the commission of the crimes was motivated by the desire to have his business flourish. He pleaded for mercy. He indicated that he cooperated with the police immediately upon his arrest. He further made a confession and the pointing out of the scene of the crime and gave the police the details of his participation in the commission of the crimes.
Kanti-ke nokuthi-ke yena uye wasebenzisana kahle namaphoyisa kanti-ke uye wabhalisa-ke futhi nesitatimende sebeyisangolula khona-ke emaphoyiseni lapho-ke beke bakha khona-ke imininingwane yonke yokuthi-ke licala okanye lesenzo siyesenzeka kanjani okanye sihlelwe saze sagcina sesiyenzeka kanjani.
3 days after his arrest, he apparently wrote a letter to the Ngwenya family asking for their forgiveness. He even tried to make contact with people living with albinism without success. He read into the record both the letters wrote to the Ngwenya family as well as to the people with albinism. But it must be noted that this letter were never delivered to the Ngwenya family as well as the people living with albinism. They all heard about this letter for the first time when it was read in court.
Kulabantu abaphila ngebala elimhlophe kanti-ke lezo ncwadi-ke zombili noma ziye zathulwa-ke okanye zaphulwa lapha kwenkundla azange zigcine zifike-ke ezandleni zawumndeni wakwaNgwenya okanye umkhandlo okanye labo bantu labo-ke abaphila ngebala elimhlophe. Bona-ke nabo bebeqala ukuzwa-ke ngazo lezo ncwadi la ekhotini mhlazana zifuna.
He maintains that he only realized a week after the commission of the crimes that what they did was wrong. He could not sleep at night and he was tormented by nightmares and used alcohol to ease his conscience. He then approached a friend of his who happened to be a member of the South African Police Service. This friend encouraged him to keep quiet, hoping that they will never be caught out. He even consulted a pastor who informed him that God will forgive him.
Kanti-ke uye washo waqhubeka umnumzane ethubani ukusho ukuthi-ke unomngane oyiphoyisa osebenzela isiphoyisa sakhona lana eMzantsi Afrika, loyo-ke wamkhuthaza ukuthi makalinde aze aboshwe. Kanti-ke uthi ngaphandle kwalokhu uye waya-ke wayokhulumisana nomfundisi, umfundisi loyo wamtshela ukuthi-ke uNkulunkulu uzomthethezela.
Lastly, he could not remember some of the events which took place during the commission of the crimes at the Ngwenya family, as he claims that he experienced intermittent blackouts. The state led the evidence of 3 witnesses. That's Miss L.M. Mahasha, beg your pardon, a social worker, and Miss Anna Shabani, the mother of Gabisile Shabani, and Mr. Petros Mandla Maisela, the grade 7 English teacher of Gabisile Shabani.
Umama uShabani, Anna Shabani, umama wakagabisile, kanti-ke bese nomnumzane Petros Mandla Mayisela obenguthisha wakagabisile ku-grade 7.
At the request of the state, Ms. Mahasha prepared 2 victim impact reports. The reports are aimed at assisting the court to determine the effect and impact of the criminal offences had on the victims, with a view to impose a just and suitable sentence. According to her evaluation, it is evident that the family of the victims have been negatively affected by the incident in various aspects of their lives. They have been exposed to severe trauma and as a result display major symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder.
kanti-ke lokho-ke zange kugcineke lapho kuye kwabathinta-ke ey'ngxenyeni zempilo zabo ey'hlukile kanti-ke nokuthi-ke bona-ke kumantu-ke abasesenokuthuka okukhulu kanti-ke lokho kwadala ukugcineke sekwenze imindezi engqondweni, post-traumatic stress.
Further, Ms. Shabani is fearful and anxious that the same incident may recur and is always fearful for the other remaining children in the family. The family were exposed to secondary trauma on several occasions, especially when they had to identify the decomposed corpse and with some body parts missing of Kabisile. In brief, this crime has rendered this family vulnerable to future attacks, largely due to societal myths and perceptions pertaining to people living with albinism. The myths in the community surrounding the kidnap and murder of the concerned children, as expressed by Ms. Shabani, further poses a danger to the family. The gruesome murder of the children further predisposes any person living with albinism to danger and will instill fear. Finally, according to Ms. Mahasha, she concludes that the family have suffered inexplicable trauma and harm which has and will continue to have far-reaching ramifications on their entire lives. Murder of people living with albinism violates the moral fiber of society and the responsibility of treating each other with respect and dignity, and cannot be tolerated and must be condemned and punished in the strongest possible terms.
kanti-ke lokuthi basekelwe lokhu behamba-ke bethola-ke usizo ukuthi-ke bakhone kwamukela kanti-ke nakho-ke ukubulawa kwabo labantu-ke bebala elimhlophe kukhomba ukuthi-ke umphakathi awusengakabi lokubamukela kanti-ke nabo bangabantu abadinga-ke ukuthi umphakathi bamukele futhi bahloniphe kanti-ke uma-ke kwenzeka ukuthi-ke babulawe njengoba bagrekwa ofane ukuthi-ke umthetho uqinisa isandla kakhulu ukubonisa ukuthi nabo bayadinga bangabantu abafana ukuthi bahlonishwe njengabo bobaba.
Ms. Shabani, the mother of Kabisile, testified that Kabisile has a twin sister by the name of Kanyisile, and further informed the court that Kabisile was a very quiet person. She was very intelligent and attended to her schoolwork diligently. She had dreams like any other child, and her dream was to become a fashion designer. Ms. Shabani was very close to Kabisile, and she has been deeply hurt in the manner that Kabisile was abducted and eventually killed. Kanyisile, whose Kabisile's twin sister, is still deeply hurt and struggling to come to terms with Kabisile's death. She has turned into a moody and uncontrollable child.
Uye wachaza ke umama wakabisile uye waphila ke lapha ngesizwe ukuthi uGabisile udadewabo oyiphahla ngegama lika Kanisile. Loyo ke amchaze ke uGabisile njengengane ke beyithulile ehlakaniphile futhi ke eyimisele kakhulu ngomsebenzi wayo wesikole. Loyo ke obenamaphupho njengayonke ingane. Lokho ke iphupho lakhe bekukuba yi-fashion designer. Kanti ke uyena ke umama uShabani uye washo ukuthi yena ke noGabisile lesondelene kakhulu ngakho ke lokhu lesehlakalo lesike siye samlimaza kakhulu emoyeni. Kuyafana ke nalo iwele lakhe wena iphahla lakhe uKhanyisile loyo ke owathinteka kabuhlungu ngokulahlekelwa ke ngudadewabo. Kanti ke lokho ke kugcine ke sekumenze okanye sekumguqule ingane ke ingasalawuleki ingane ke eshintsha ke noma kunini uyahluphuleka nje.
Mr. Maisela, an educator at Kananda Primary School, Phase 4, Hlalani Kahle, taught Kabisile English. That Kabisile was very intelligent, and as a result she was the recipient of several awards. Kabisile was the overall best performer in grade 7 in the year 2017.
Yena-ke uye washo ukuthi unguthisha lapha esikolweni lesibizwa ukuthi le-J Kananda esise-Phase 4 ehlakani kahle. Loyo-ke befundisa-ke ebenguthisha wakaGabisile kwi-grade 7. Loyo-ke uye washo ukuthi-ke uGabisile nokuyingane-ke ehlakaniphe ngale ndlela yokuthi yena-ke ube ngumuntu-ke ubexoxa-ke ethumba-ke ngayo yonke-ke iminyaka ama-awards. Kanti-ke lokho-ke bekwenzeke ngawo unyaka ka-2017 ikathizwa i-grade 7.
The counsel for the defense maintained that the accused was remorseful and a candidate for rehabilitation, and he further maintained that there were substantial and compelling circumstances justifying the deviation from the minimum sentences provided for these offences.
Kanti-ke ummeli wakhe umangalelwa uye washo ukuthi-ke umangalelwa-ke nomunye-ke wabantu-ke labo-ke abadinga-ke ukuthi-ke bangaguqulwa.
All right, we're coming out of that court case in Mpumalanga. We'll continue to give you the update on the outcomes, but let's now